Welcome everybody to the Enrique Hinojosa podcast. This is a very special episode because this is actually episode 001. In this episode, we are joined by Dillon Severns. He's actually in our Subto network, and we're going to be talking to him about his experience in the community and his perspective. So let's get started. Dillon, do you have any initial words to give us? Anything that you want to start?
Howdy, y'all.
That's good enough. All right. So, what got you what got you into real estate investing?
Yeah, man. So, what got me into real estate investing is just the fact that I'm an investor at heart, right? I'm always looking for good investments and analyzing what's good. And if you are a true investor and if you have a healthy investing plan, portfolio, strategy, skill, you're always going to include real estate in that. So, real estate cannot be ignored as an investment strategy. Um, so, it's always been on my radar. I first got into it years ago. I was taking a course from a guy, Ty Lopez, and he did the 67 steps. I got turned on by him. And after I did the 67 steps, I really liked that. And he was like, "Hey, I'm selling a real estate course." And at the time, if you went on social media, everybody had a fix and flip course that they were selling. And this was back in, you know, 2010s, 2012s, 13, somewhere in there. And it was, very popular at the time. So I took his course. And when I took it, I found out I didn't have enough money at my young age to really get into it. Like the strategies were there, but it was more about I just wasn't quite ready for it. So I started getting into stocks, other things like that. But really, you know, I've been interested in real estate investing for a long time. So for me, myself, I'm a salesperson. I've been in sales for 10 years. I'm currently a sales trainer at a law firm. And I've always been entrepreneurial and wanted to start businesses. And I've had a few, I've done some things, and really most of them involve like a, product or a service. And me, I'm not an engineer, so I'm not creating a product. I've got to have a product also too that I'm passionate about, and services shy of like sales trainings or things like that. Um, the easiest thing for me to do is real estate. Actually, a big part of real estate is selling, closing deals, on both sides, whether you're negotiating when you purchase a property and when you sell it. And, that is something to me that I'm able to use my skill set and get into without needing anything else that a business requires. So that's why I'm here and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a skill that's needed in real estate, at least to be able to close more deals. So all the new people out there, Dillon Severns is somebody that you have to connect with. It's now I have a question because
Mhm.
it's always interesting finding out like how people like got got into Subto, like how they found out about Subto. So how did you find out about initially like Pace Morby?
Yeah, so Pace Morby's specifically, that's a really funny story. So my fiance, soon to be wife, by the time you watch this, she'll be my wife. We're getting married in a month exactly today. Crazy. Um,
That's awesome.
thank you. She is a famous fashion photographer and is a just an amazing photographer. She's been doing it since she was 13, professionally since she was 16. She shot the Kardashians, um, Tam. I don't even want to start. The list is long. Go look her up on Instagram, Katie Levine photo. And so when we moved to Phoenix, it was a new market for her. And so she was trying to get in. She actually posted on a like a contracting site or like Fiverr or something like that, just that she is available to teach photography. So Pace Morby actually found her and called her up and hired her to teach Pace photography. So she only did about a lesson or so, but she stayed in contact with Pace and actually did a photo shoot with his wife Laura, who's amazing, by the way. They're both incredible. And that's who turned me on to them. And I think, once I first started watching their social medias, I was like, okay, I'm going to start paying attention to real estate investing again. And I'm getting in a place in my life where I have some funds saved up and I have these other skills, and I'm getting, we own a home, me and my fiance. So I'm just getting closer and closer to that. So for me, I really was just like, hey, it's time. Let's figure out how to get into the Subto community. And once I did, I've just been, you know, blown away really by the courses, by the people, the community. You, everybody, Enrique is amazing, um, and it's just phenomenal. I can't wait to take it as far as I can go.
Yeah, definitely. And it's easy from the outside to just see like his YouTube and be like, well, what does Sub2 have to offer? This guy's
Right.
giving away all of his secrets on YouTube.
Hmm.
Then you actually get in and then you see like, oh man, there's way more strategies. There's way more to real estate. There's more to learning about your corporate structure and just, I mean, the
In the
list goes on.
community.
Yeah, especially the community because uh, that's one thing that before we started the podcast we were talking about how like we don't lack resources on our side. Like
Hmm.
there's there's millions of dollars there ready to invest. There's so many properties and opportunities of all sorts. So it's definitely something to look into for all the new people. And if you just joined,
Hmm.
there's that you're definitely going to need guidance from people, and definitely having somebody with specific skill sets is going to help out. So like you were mentioning, sales, you
Hmm.
need somebody that can kind of guide you through that. So
You
let's
know,
continue. Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
no, I was just gonna say, as I grow even into a buyer, I love the fact that there's just deals posted in there. Like you can be the first person to grab up so many deals. Like I didn't see myself as a buyer right away. And as I've got in, I've seen that. And that's like a huge advantage. And it's so weird, like talking to people about sub two, they're always like, is it multi-level marketing real estate? I'm like, no, it's just
Yeah,
it's just real estate, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah, and it's part of that, like because it goes down to that like negotiating the deals and like a lot of the deals that are there, like they're very well negotiated and everything
mhm,
is set up with the right paperwork. Everything is set up just right. Sometimes outside of the community, you see people trying to do sub two, like you see it in some of these investment groups, and
mhm,
just by seeing the post, you're like, oh man, that is not gonna work. Like it's very like the sell of a sub two is
mhm.
very intimate, and I wouldn't trust doing a deal with anybody outside of sub two. I don't know about you, but
Me neither. And there's a tremendous amount of trust. There's a tremendous amount of confidence. There's a tremendous amount of connection within the community, and it just makes it so easy to work with everybody.
yeah, and on that topic, how has your overall experience been in the community since you got on?
Yeah, I've been blown away, to be honest. I mean, the knowledge is really straightforward. Whenever I've taken any kind of course in the past, I think, for me as somebody who's been interested in self help and entrepreneurship, and just somebody who wants to learn and grow all the time, and it really kind of been that way, for the last 10 plus years. Um, you find so many people that only just want to give you a piece of the pie. They just tell you a little bit about how to do it, but they always leave something missing. And that to me, like, would be so frustrating. You invest in something and you want to know, like, you want your money's worth. Like, I want to know how to do this. And Pace is somebody who does not hold back on any type of information, any type of details. He's literally in your face. Like, if you're not doing this, like, what are you doing? I'm giving you everything, and that's um, something in the community too that just like I have so much confidence. When I first got in, I had the newbie high, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a salesman. I'm gonna start closing all these deals. I'm gonna make all this money. And life is busy for me right now. I'm taking Spanish classes. I'm I have a personal trainer. I'm working out. I have my wedding coming up, which is a whole nother beast. Where we're doing. I can't dance, so we're doing dance classes for our wedding. So I'm extremely busy, and it's like, you know what? This isn't going anywhere. Like once you're in, you're a member for life. You have the contracts, you have the courses, um, you have the community, and for me personally, being located in Phoenix, you know, being from Rockford, Illinois, you know, there's no shortage of what I'm going to be able to do within the community, and there's no rush, so everybody's got their timeline, and I can't wait to hit the ground running.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's part of it. I think a lot of people kind of mistake like joining the community, and they think that's it. Next week I'm gonna be a millionaire, and
Hmm.
it certainly doesn't work like that, because you got to
No.
take in consideration everything you got going on in your life, all the knowledge that you have to acquire, and then also gathering all the funds, gathering also, you know, all the friendships, and getting to network with everybody, and then seeing from there, from all that pool of people and information, seeing what's gonna work and what's gonna help you.
And then putting in the work.
Yeah, putting in the work is a big one. Yeah,
You got to
so
do the work.
that is true. And I was gonna say, like right now that we're talking about the community, we have
Hmm.
these things called avatars. I'm sure you know.
Hmm.
There's we have
Of
like a
course.
full series there in the vault. Like you already went through the vault. What avatars do you uh do you think that you are, more, that you
More
identify
associated with.
most with? Yeah.
Yeah. So for an avatar, for anybody watching, for anybody in the community, you're going to know what an avatar is very soon. It's something that, is advised that you identify for yourself immediately because, it just helps you get to the strategy. So an avatar is pretty much like what you should do in real estate based off your skills and based off your personality for the most part. Everybody in real estate thinks there's only one way to go. I think Pace has about, 20 avatars. Now, he himself personally talks about, he's been at one point every single avatar in there, maybe to a small degree. But there's things that aren't for him. So he'll hire for, what he's not good at or what he doesn't do. And he will make connections, for the other things. So for me, myself, I'm a direct to seller, a direct to agent. Basically that just means that I'm going to close and work with sellers, with agents, and also closer on top of that. So those are three, avatars that kind of work, intertwine with the skill set. So I focused when I started mostly on direct to agent. Um, I'm going to transition more into direct to seller, and closers just natural. I'm closing all day. I'm training people how to close all day at my job currently. Um, so that resonates very well with me. And then just because of the capital that I built up, I also am available as a Gator lender as well too. So if you need any um, funds for any earnest money for any wholesales that you're doing, or I'm ready to collaborate with other Gators and not Gator, but just to invest together. That's kind of what my avatars are, what they're going to be going forward, what I'm going to focus on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are good avatars to have, and it's good to go through that series and find out what you identify with the most, because that's kind of what gets people out of focus, that they're
Hmm.
trying to do all the things.
Hmm.
And in reality, we can't do all the things. If you're going to be an agent,
Hmm.
or sorry, if you're going to be like a direct to seller, your main focus should be to be on the phones and closing deals. There's no reason to be like constantly calling the title company, that this go through, that you get this paperwork. There's just so many things that, is just better for people to stay on their lane, so they can, just make more money. Everybody's doing their part.
100%.
Um, and what do you see your goals in real estate investing being?
Yeah, my goals are kind of modest, man. I think a lot of people would laugh at my goals. I see people in the community and they're like, yeah, I'm at 200 doors or 100 doors. But for me, starting off, I'm really looking to get 20 properties within the next 5 years. It's a goal I hope to accomplish in half the time. For me, I've got a lot of strategies that I want to use with those, but that's pretty much it. So personally, 20 doors. For anybody not in real estate investing, it's like super basic. Like a door is like either if it's a single family home, that's one door. If you buy like a duplex, that's two doors. Four unit, apartment complex, that's four doors. So that's really my overall goal, and that to me is going to give me, um, you know, the passive income that I need, to do what I need to do. So if I'm gonna do a joint venture JV with anybody out there, I'm gonna count that as half a door. If I'm joint venturing with four people, it's a quarter of one. So I'm going for that 20, and I'm hoping to get there in about half the time. For anybody out there that has similar goals, I'm looking to connect with you as well. Anybody that's on the same wavelength, the same mindset, the same goals. And so many people are going to hear this and are like, hey, your goals are too small. We're not in the same length. But, um, still, I think I'm ready to work with anybody, that has any similar type of goals or higher in mind.
Yeah, yeah, and those are good goals to have. I mean, for the majority of people out there that are not even in real estate, that
Hmm.
just having one rental property sounds like, oh, that's all I need, or that's all I can handle. But knowing all the strategies and knowing what to do, it's really something that it's not a problem. Stacking more doors is just really being able to know how to delegate everything. So
Of
so
course.
those are good goals. And let me ask you. So what is next for you? You're currently, right now, you're doing sales training, and now you're a member of our community. What is next for you?
Yeah, so that's a loaded question. I mean, what's next for me first is my wedding. Um, and that'll be coming up here shortly. Um, After that, I really want to build a team, or be a part of a team. That's another goal that I have, and yeah, really get to a point where I can leave the W-2, and I know that's going to happen for people out there that are watching this, that come here to learn how to leave the W-2. Just stay in your lane a little bit, be patient, learn, and take action steps, and get to that point. It's something that, should be calculated. And so for me, Enrique, like we talked about in your podcast, I want to make sure that my habits are right, my mindset is right, my discipline is right before I get into that. But that's really my goal, um, overall. And what's next for me for sure. So shy of that, I'm actually a super big sports fan. I've done a lot of data analytics for sports betting and what have you. So I am also going to start a sports podcast. I'm going to do a betting podcast, an NBA, NFL podcast. I've got the real estate podcast coming up that you were my first guest on. So
Yeah,
that's pretty much all of what's next for me. I'm going to be busy till the day I die.
yeah, yeah. Those are good goals. I mean, people underestimate the things that you can do with social media and with podcasting. As long as you're
Mhm.
doing everything with a purpose, it's it's all advertising. Like right now, we're trying to reach out to everybody out there so they
Mhm.
can understand and know what we're about.
Mhm.
So with that in mind, how can you help someone that's brand new in real estate investing, whether they're in sub two or not in sub two?
Yeah, so for anyone new in real estate investing, and this goes for, you know, any individual without real estate knowledge, I can really help you lay the groundwork for what your goals should be and what you should be trying to accomplish as well. So many people, like we've talked about many times, want to get in and hit the ground running, but what I can do is really elaborate on strategies that are out there, talk through different ways to close, um, really just all the little things, all the small things, all the starting things help you identify your avatar, whether you're in or not in sub two. You know, for anybody in sub two, I can help you navigate the courses, what you should watch, what you should expect. There's a lot of help that you get in the program, when you start from individuals like Caroline Kane, um, for whoever your what's the name for it, Enrique? I'm losing it. Anybody that helps you, you get somebody assigned to you when you join the community. I forget what they're
Oh,
called.
yeah, your MSA.
MSA, yeah, your MSA, they'll help you out. But a lot of times, like when you listen to the MSA and or Carolyn Kane, or anybody else that reaches out to you, there's a lot of different information. You could talk to 10 different people and they'll tell you different things. So for me, what I can do is I can help you understand how to digest all those 10 suggestions and see what works best for you. And
Yeah,
then, um, yeah, so pretty much the foundation and hopefully jumpstart where you're headed just from that. And then once you talk to me, you'll need to find the next person.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And sometimes that's what it is, helping people find the clarity when they get started. And sometimes part of it is like, hey, well, you want to start making calls, I'm the person to help you, so
Hmm.
that's always good to have, to help all the new people. You can kind of identify like, hey, you're also a direct to seller, or direct to agent. Let me help you
Hmm.
out with how you can get started with that. So
Hmm.
that's a very, very good way to help a lot of new people inside of sub 2 and outside. So
Hmm.
um and what other side projects do you have going on right now?
Oh man, I think I mentioned them already, just in
Oh,
the last
yeah,
question. So nothing
that's true.
besides
The
those.
the project that you have going with your sports betting and the podcasting and stuff. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And lastly, we're running out of time, and I was gonna
Hmm.
ask you, how can how can our audience here reach you?
Yeah. I don't know how often this is done on podcasts. Text me on my cell 779-208-5457. 779-208-5457. That's a sales thing I've been taught for forever. You say a number twice slowly. Um, and you can reach me on my Instagram. It's just my name, Dillon Severns. I'm not going to make it any different than that. May put an REI at the end of that. This is in my early stages, y'all. You're seeing me here now. You're going to see me somewhere else way later, way bigger. So you can reach me there. My email is my last name and my first name, no periods in between, at Gmail. So it's just Severns, Dillon at gmail.com. You can reach me there. Um, and
Okay.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And for everybody, I'm still gonna, on the description below, I'm gonna put all his information there. So thanks, Dylan. This was a very insightful podcast. Getting
Thanks
to
for
know
having me.
you. Yeah. So guys, we're gonna have more of these podcasts where we interview more guests that are members of our community. That's how we're gonna start, but we'll eventually, start getting more people that are outside of our community that are also doing cool things, just like Dylan. So, all right, everybody, thank you, and have a nice rest of your day.
Peace, y'all. Thanks, Enrique.
Thank you.